Hey everybody, Goofy Rexy here. I hope everybody is doing well, and today we're going to be doing an updated video. Usually what we do every patch or every other patch or so, but we're going to talk about the best free-to-play characters and teams for beginner to mid-game players here in Marvel Strike Force. I know that this game has a lot of sort of like pitfalls, or there's a lot of things rushing at players quite often, especially if you're in the beginner to mid-game portion. So I usually like to do this updated video here to talk about the best characters to invest into. So not all the characters that you can invest into, but the best characters who are the top tier echelon characters that are free to play, that if you're a beginner or mid-game player that you should think about investing into. So we're going to talk about where you can use these characters, well, first of all, where you can get these characters, where you can use these characters, whether they're going to be good for, and then we'll kind of talk about the way that I usually go about this list is that we talk about new additions first, so characters that were not on the previous list before in patch 6.4 list where we did that one, that are newly added now to 6.5, and then we recap the characters that were already on the list, just in case you are new to the channel here or new to these lists, so that you can also be able to kind of catch up and keep up to date with this as well, guys. So if you're ready for it, let's get on into it right now. All right, guys, welcome back. And like I said, we're going to be going through the best free-to-play characters and teams here for beginners to mid-game players here in Marvel Strike Force. Love doing this list because I do like to help out beginner and mid-game players here to try to navigate the game to make sure that you can get the best out of it. So hopefully this is going to be a helpful video for you. And you can find some value there. But of course, if it is your first time coming to the channel and you would like to see more content like this or more other Marvel Strike Force content, then consider hitting that subscribe button. Also the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Also check out the links that are down below in the description, a link to my Discord where you can come on in, ask questions if you have anything that you want to follow up on here, and then also just chit chat, talk about anything, even sports in the Discord as well. There's a link to my Twitch page where I do stream Marvel Strike Force content occasionally, and then also a link to my Patreon, which is another way to support the channel here for just $1 a month. And also like and comment too, that does help out the YouTube algorithm, make sure that the video also does get pushed out to a broader audience as well. So let's actually dive right on into the list here and talk about these characters, right? So let's first go into new additions. So I'm going to zoom in here because I'm pretty sure that you're probably like, Goofy, I cannot read that. So let's zoom in here. So in terms of new additions, the first couple characters that we're going to be adding here are two characters that are going to be a part of the Death Sea team. So the Death Sea team is a new team coming to Marvel Strike Force here, or a new team that's in Marvel Strike Force now. We're still waiting on one new character, which we just found out through the data mine is going to be a character called Nemesis. We know that Archangel is going to be leading the team. The legendary horseman character Archangel is going to be leading this team, and of course Dark Beast is going to be a part of this team as well. Now this team is going to be a raid team here, and Psylocke and Magneto have gotten reworks to be a part of that team. So I think it makes sense to add these characters here as two new additions to be used on to be part of your best free-to-play characters that you can use here, right? Psylocke, she's available in Cosmic 3/6. Like I said, you can use her in raids here for the Dead Sea team is a raid team, so you can use her there, and she's a part of the Dead Sea team, which you're also going to need for Apocalypse. So therefore, it definitely makes sense to invest into her. You can also use her for some other things too, like Cosmic Crucible. You can use her for some of the campaign stuff if you're sort of like in the beginner portion of the game, or sort of like in between the beginner and mid game point. You can use her for some content there as well, or even just like your Ultimates raids, like I said. And then later on, once you start getting into end game content like your Doom raids, you'll have this team available to you, or you'll have these characters already built up and available to you. Magneto, also part of that Dead Sea team. He is a legendary character though, so it's going to take a little bit more to be able to unlock him, but he's a permanent legendary, and the characters that you have that you need to unlock Magneto are actually a lot right there. So you can use X-Men characters, or you can use Brotherhood characters to unlock Magneto. So if we look at the roster or look at the characters that you have available here, there's a few that stand out that are free to play that you can also try to target farm to get Magneto if you want to go in that direction. And surprise, surprise, one of those characters is Psylocke, right? So you can use and target farm Psylocke to then be able to unlock Magneto. There's other free-to-play characters here like Beast that you can use, who's available, I think, in the Nexus campaign. Wolverine is a character that you get for free throughout the throughout your daily login here until you get the 7 stars. There's some other characters that are good, like X23. Not a great character, but for the purpose of unlocking Magneto can be used also. She's a character that you can use to also unlock Doc Ock, so if you care about Doc Ock as well. So there's a couple of different options that you have available here, and then some Brotherhood characters too, which we won't look at right now, but like Sabretooth, Toad, some of those characters that are kind of easy to get that you can use to unlock Magneto here. Wanted to talk about a couple other things. He's a decent villain character also. So villains becomes for Scourges, I should say, a decent villain character for Scourges. A lot of players do typically tend to struggle, like earlier to mid-game players typically tend to struggle with what villain options do I have? Because some of these Scourges, I believe, like the Famine Scourge or the War Scourge, you have a requirement in Pestilence Scourge, right? You have requirements for villain characters, and the question is always like, yo, dude, like, where are the good villain characters to use? I'm like, it's free to play, early beginner. It's tough, right? Because you can see like this top list right here. There's Dr. Doom. Hey, you're probably not going to be able to get that character. Abomination, not farmable. Omega Red, kind of hard to get. Morgan Le Fay, if you probably got your Web Warriors team, and maybe you probably have gotten a little lucky there, but Dormammu, and then we're going to talk about Hela in a little bit, but there's not really a lot of great options. So Magneto, being that he's a usable character in endgame content, going to be used for the Dead Sea team, Magneto provides you with some solid value there that you can use as a villain character. So I wanted to kind of highlight that as well as it pertains to Mags. All right, and then Hela, who we just saw, who I just showed here, she just recently got a rework. She's a part of the Undying team with Zombie Iron Man. Now that team, of course, is a war offense team, so you probably don't care that much about it. Or I should say, as a beginner to mid-game player, I probably wouldn't care about war offense or war in general. That's just not something that you want to go too hard on. You just want to focus on getting through your campaigns, making sure that you're doing your raids, because they're important rewards. They're your Dark Dimension, things like that. You want to focus on those, and even maybe Cobbs and Crucible. But Hela is also now, because of that rework, she's also now an arena character, a character that's a part of the arena meta. So therefore she becomes a little bit more important, a little bit more valuable to you, because arena is very important to do, right? You can find her in Villains Chapter 7-6, which is a little bit more mid-game, and then also Heroes Hard Difficulty Nodes 2-3, which is also a little bit more mid-game as well. And if you care about this, like, she can be used to unlock Black Bolt, which then of course leads to Ebony Maw, things like that too, if you care about it. And we already talked about this already, but a good villain option here for your Scourge events. All right, another character that we're adding here is Cersei. So Cersei recently just became farmable. She's now in the hard difficulty villains node, chapter 2-9. Now this node is once again a little bit more mid-game friendly, but like I said, this is a beginner to mid-game list, so therefore we're going to include both beginner characters and then also mid-game characters too, right? So Cersei is available in hard difficulty nodes, villain chapter 2-9. Arena, she's a part of the Eternals team with Icarus. Icarus is not as easy to get, but Cersei is, and Cersei still is a good plug and play character individually, so you're still going to get a ton of value out of her there. She's an arena meta character. She's a Dark Dimension meta character. She can be used in Rage. She can be used in Cosmic Crucible. She can be used in War. There's pretty much basically every single game mode in the game that she can be used in, so therefore you're going to get a ton of value with her there. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, we have Wong, who is now added to Heroes Hard Difficulty 1-3 or 1-3 if you're Jamaican, but here's our difficulty 1-3. He's a part of the Darkhold team. The Darkhold team is going to be needed for Apocalypse. I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier. The Dead Sea team is also going to be needed for Apocalypse. It's a team that Psylocke and Magneto are on, but yes, Wong is a part of a Darkhold team, which is going to be needed for Apocalypse. Wong is a part of the arena meta with that Darkhold team, so therefore if you're looking at long-term investment and getting long-term value, then Wong is a character that I would definitely recommend. And this one's kind of embarrassing to say that this is a new addition. This is Thor. We didn't have Thor on this list before, so he should have probably been on this list a long time ago. But being that I skipped over it, I have to be fair and say this is a new addition. So therefore, we're gonna add him onto this list. And that's just me, not me just forgetting about him. I'm sorry, Thor. He's my favorite character too. So like, well, Why would I do this? You know, I'm so sorry, Thor. I still love you, bro. I still love you, boo. All right, let's move on. But Thor, definitely want to add him to this list here. Raid Store, you can find him in the Raid Store. You can find him in Heroes Chapter 7.3. He is a part of the Hero Asgardian team. You are going to want to use him in Node 5 and Node 10 to be able to unlock Red Hulk. And get higher stars on Red Hulk here. So therefore, I am going to add him onto this list. Also synergizes very well with some other characters that were already on this list too, like Iron Man, Hulk, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. There's some synergy there. So if you're looking at like some early game content, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, actually can be used for some of that stuff. So therefore, we got to add Thor onto this list. Now, for a quick recap, let's talk about characters that were already on here, and then we'll go over some quick brief notes on them again. Sorry if this is a repeat for some of you guys who've already been here, but like I said, I want to make sure I at least recap and talk about those characters. So Green Goblin I had on this list here. He's a part of this new Underworld team. It's a nice rework, but honestly, the only reason why I have him here as one of the best options is because he's a part of the Sinister Six team. And when you get to Villains Chapter 7.1 and 7.3, you're going to need some Sinister. I would say Sinister Six characters are some of your best options for those nodes. So therefore, because you can only use Sinister Six, AIM, or Hydra, right? And Green Goblin is a Sinister Six character, probably one of your better options because of the rework that he just recently got. Dr. Voodoo and Morbius were on this list. Dr. Voodoo is farmable. I forgot to put what node he's farmable in. I believe it's Cosmic 19. I gotta check on that. I won't do it right now, but I'll check on it after the video here and I'll update it on the sheet. But Dr. Voodoo and Morbius, they are part of the Dark Hunters team, which can be used to unlock Morgan Le Fay. So therefore I have them on this list. Although I will say this, like, if you have Web Warriors, I probably don't think that you need to go into this direction. So maybe that's part of the reason too why they have an asterisk next to them, because I don't think that this is like a necessity. This is more of a, okay, you could do it if you wanted to go in that direction. Morbius is also a Blitz Store exclusive character as well, so harder to get. So probably shouldn't have him on this list, right? To be fair, probably shouldn't, because it's free to play, but it's not like Target free to play. Which is sort of like the context of this list. But like I said, both characters can be used for Pestilence Scourge. We had Iron Man and Vision on this list as well. Iron Man is a legendary character, permanent legendary character that you can use, where you can use shield characters to unlock him. There's a lot of shield characters that are available, a lot of them that you can get pretty earlier on too. But Iron Man, Vision are a part of they're part of the Bionic Avengers team, which is also a raid team that you can use for your later on Doom Tech raid nodes. So therefore, they're pretty good value as well. And this team is also going to be a team that you're going to want to use for the Death Scourge event, but Iron Man can also be used for the War Scourge event as well. So therefore, there is some value that you can find for him there too. So I would definitely have him on this list. And then Vision, part can be used for the Death Scourge team to unlock Archangel raid team. So I think I value raid characters pretty high, so that's the reason why I do have him on this list here. And then Hulk had a good rework, is a part of the Gamma team. The Gamma team is needed to unlock Apocalypse. So therefore you're going to want to invest into this character anyways. You get some pretty easy shards for him. He synergizes with Thor because of the Wave 1 Avenger tag. So there's some good synergy there that you can benefit from in some of like your earlier content. So I would definitely, say that there's some good value here, but mainly because of the Gamma team. And you want to kind of invest into characters that are going to yield you long-term dividends, right? So that's the reason why he's here. And similar boat with She-Hulk. She's also on the Gamma team as well. She's in the Blitz Store. Better long-term investment, being a part of the Gamma team that you're going to need for Apocalypse. That's the reason why she's here. Kind of similar boat too with Scarlet Witch. She's in the Arena Store. Good for long-term investment because she's a part of the Darkhold team, which is going to be needed for Apocalypse. So therefore she's there. You can find some decent value for her too. Young Avengers. I love Young Avengers. I think they're one of my favorite teams in the game. I find them to be a very multifaceted team. Also, they have two of my favorite Marvel characters ever, Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl, on them. So that also could be part of the reason too, I'm going to be honest. But they're still a very, very good team. Their Young Avengers in general can also be a team that can be used for your Famine Scourge event, which is where you're going to be able to unlock Rogue. And they're, like I said, versatile team. There's a couple characters here that you can use for your Hero Chapter 7.1. I put 7.1 to 7.1. That was 7.1 to 7.3. I'm primarily talking here about Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl. I think at a bare minimum, early enough, you can probably invest into Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel, then come back around to like Kate Bishop, who's in Mystic 3-9, and it echoes in the War Store. Oh, and I forgot to put that America Chavez, who I believe is in the Mystic campaign or Cosmic campaign. Oof, I don't remember. But you can kind of come back around to those characters a little bit later on. I would say Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel probably are the better of the two options until you get later on into the game, if you want to kind of look at like investments and stuff there. Wakandans are on this list. Shuri and the team, they've made a resurgence with the War Dogs team now. A lot of the characters that are on the Wakandan specifically team, not the characters that have the War Dog tag, like the new characters like Nakia and then Black Panther 1mm. Those two characters are harder to get, but characters like Black Panther, like OG Black Panther, you can get fairly easily. You can get Okoye fairly easily. You can get Shuri as a permanent legendary character fairly easily. You can get Killmonger fairly easily. And Baku, like those characters there are pretty good, even without sort of like the new characters. So the main cogs of that team though are Shuri, Black Panther, and Okoye, OG Black Panther and Okoye. So if you're looking at characters to target, I will probably target those specific characters there. They're also going to be a Scourge team that can be used to unlock Archangel. So therefore, they are on this list. They're a good Cosmic Crucible team. They can be used in the Gamma Raids, right? They're actually a fun team to use on the left side or the right side of the Gamma Raids. Provide a ton of value there. Chaos Theory, Killmonger can actually be used for 3 different Flash events. There's a lot of really good value that you can get out of this team. We still have Gamora next. We still have Gamora, Nebula, and Phyla-Vell on this list here. This is probably going to change very soon. Probably on the next time when we do this list, we're probably going to take them off of this list. I still like Gamora, Nebula, and Phyla for some early sort of arena content. But with characters like Hela becoming farmable now, it kind of changes your needs. Cersei, well, Cersei's not really accessible to earlier players. So for like early players, I do think that Gamora, Nebula, and Phyla probably provide you still with some best value from a free-to-play perspective. Obviously, if you get better characters like Kestrel and Cersei and Icarus by luck, you use those characters, right? But this is just more of a, okay, if you don't have them, then you can get these characters. Gamora's in the Blitz store, Nebula's in Nexus 4.6, Phyla is in the Arena store. Web Warriors are next on this list here. 4 of the characters are farmable. I know you may say, well, what about Spider-Punk? He is farmable. Technically, I don't consider Blitz exclusive or Orb exclusive characters to be farmable, which is the reason why you saw me put an asterisk earlier on Morbius. But Spider-Punk is in the Arena Orb as an exclusive. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. No, Spider-Punk, guys, is now actually farmable at 975 credits. Wow. I need to update that, right? So technically, all 4 of those characters are farmable. All 5 of those characters are farmable. There are a raid team. They're also a Scourge team for Morgan Le Fay. And some of those characters can also be used in Dark Dimension as well. So I got to make an amendment to this list, right? All right, and Shang-Chi, he's in the Blitz store. You can also, like I put it down here for some earlier players, you can use him for Heroes Chapter 7.1 to 7.3. He's a good raid option for your skill raids, but also just in general, just raids, and a good Dark Dimension character. Zemo, stock is still dropping a bit here. He is in the raid store. He's still one of your best options though for your villains chapter 7.1 to 7.3. Remember I talked about how you have to use Hydra, AIM, Sinister Six. Zemo has the Hydra tag. You pair him up with Green Goblin and a couple other Sinister Six characters. It's kind of a easy peasy run there. I'm using those characters. So Zemo is on this list for me, and I'll keep him there. Great against minions. A lot of minions in those nodes, so you're going to find a ton of value once you do get there. And then Secret Avengers, Maria Hill, Sharon, Cap Sam. I think Cap Sam is in Doom 2.9, 2.6. I should have wrote down the specific nodes here. A lot of that stuff I missed, right, guys? But good raid team. Captain Sam can also be used for Dark Dimension. Good all-around versatile team. You can use this team to unlock Omega Red alongside Nick Fury and then also Winter Soldier. And yeah, I mean, yes, that's Omega Red. Yep. So some good value there that you can get out of this team. Now, what I did remove off of this list that was there the last time is the Underworld team. Underworld team for me here, I put them on originally before because they just got the reworks. Kingpin Noble and whoever, Kingpin Noble, Green Goblin, Taskmaster, right? They were on this, I put them all on this list before because of this line right here. I suspected that they might be a recommendation for Death Scourge. I thought that they were going to be one of the teams that you were going to need for Death Scourge. Unfortunately or fortunately, that is not the case. So you don't really need to invest into them anymore, right? So you're kind of good where that's concerned. So I did take them off this list for that particular reason. I usually have some honorable mentions down here. I actually haven't updated my honorable mentions, so forgive me for that. But these are usually like your pay to win your pay options, or options that are okay if you choose to go after it, but maybe a little bit more difficult to get. Obviously not the full Eternal team is not part of this. It's just Icarus now, because Cersei is farmable. Emma still will be there. Spider-Punk is a little bit more farmable now. Kestrel is an orb exclusive character. So some changes that we need to make as far as this is concerned. So hopefully though, this was a helpful sort of viewpoint for you. Like I said, I do try to do these every single patch. This is patch 6.5. The last one we did was patch 6.4. We'll try to do 6.6, although that may be a little bit later on because patch 6.6 is going to be a longer patch. So we'll probably get to that maybe towards the end of the patch, just to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row, right? All right, but listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like I said, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live, guys. And until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.